Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. It is 7:01. We're going to call the January 2022 meeting to order. And if you have your agenda, I'd like you to check out your agenda. Is there anything that you would like to add to the agenda? Okay.
No,
No.
I move we accept the agenda as presented.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second.
And who was that?
Midge.
Hey, Midge, thank you. Hi, Rick. Glad you could join us tonight. Good to see you on. Let's go ahead and Steve, would you please do an invocation?
I can do that.
Thank you.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this wonderful day that you've given us, Father. I thank you for the opportunity to be at the meeting here, Father, and I thank you for everybody across the country that's able to join. Father, I thank you first of all for this country, Father. I pray that you continue keeping your eye out and just protecting those, our men and women in service, Father, and protecting the health of this country, Father, that we can continue to honor and serve you. I thank you, and I ask for your blessing on the meeting, that everything would go well and that discussion would go great. I ask this all in your name. Amen.
Amen. Does anyone have a flag handy? I don't have one here in the condo. Or I could use my purse.
There you go.
All right. All right. We've used this. It won't be the first time. All right. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under
under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Michelle, is that what was on your desk when you were in Lansing?
Yes, that was. I had to go.
Awesome.
It was over there in my cabinet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how to tell you how to unmute on your iPad, Susan. But you can put anything you want in the chat. Oh, maybe they're gone. Anyway, hi Grace, glad to see you. Okay, so let's go ahead with our agenda. I've got it here on my screen. I'd like to move. I'd like to have an approval for the October minutes. If anyone needs time to look them over, please just say you do.
I'll move that we support the minutes of January, or what day was it? Sorry.
October.
October 14th, 2021.
Excellent. Do I have a second?
Second.
Well, thank you so much. The minutes have been approved. Very good.
Come on.
Now, Michelle, would you like to do a treasurer update, please?
Certainly. Okay, so number one priority always for the treasurer is to get that report in. I submitted our annual report on January 7th to the Secretary of State. So we'll see what kind of errors they can find and you know, what kind of amendments I'll have to do, but it was pretty straightforward. We didn't have a ton of expenses and we had a majority of contributions, but that report has been submitted today. Okay, so our balance in our checking account, we have $13,173.08. In our savings account, we have $1,980.05. In terms of expenses, so I've written or debited 4 items so far this year. We've started using a company called Mailbox Power, and that's how Karen does her mailings. A lot more efficient. That ran about $49 in the month of January. We ordered some new checks at $35.30. We paid that insurance bill we always pay every year at $100. And we made our second payment on our ad campaign to the Leelanau Enterprise. And the second payment was $438.80. I have not used any of the money raised out of the savings account for that particular agenda item yet, but I plan to start using that. And then we had contributions of $760. Any questions?
Michelle, is that was that report done early? That sounds like it was pretty early.
Well, it's due January 31st.
Oh, yes,
So
they did.
I have 2 reports to do, so I don't mess around with COVID and everything else. I just wanted to get it off my plate, you
Well,
know?
you're very good.
So,
I'm impressed.
yeah.
I'm totally impressed.
Yeah, great job.
Any questions? Okay, we got some background noise going on. I'm gonna just, if you want to speak, please unmute yourself, just in case. I'm trying to tell where the background of noise is coming from. Any questions for Michelle? Again, if you're muted, go ahead and unmute yourself. Okay. All right, then let's move on to the next item here. Oh, my update. You know, just after, you know, I'm just feel like I'm, you know, swamped with the new year coming in, lots of things going on, lots of candidates declaring, trying to line up people to speak and finding out who we want to hear from. If you have any ideas, please let me know. Doing what we can, you know, from far away, and you know, and so far we'll been touching base with people to figure out, you know, where our next step is in all of our projects. So we'll talk more about that tonight, but I'm just really excited. I'm excited to see new faces. I'm excited to see people stepping up to the plate. And so with that, let's go on to old business. Let's talk a little bit about the precinct delegate. Again, over the holidays, it's kind of hard to get anything done, but Rick, do you have anything new that you would like to talk about?
Can you hear me?
We sure can.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm a little problem on my computer end, but no, I've written to some emails to people who expressed interest. And of course, that was a couple of months ago, I think in November. And I had also gone to the county clerk's office and also to my township office to get information. And as I recall, I was looking for my notes, but May 5th, I believe, or around that time is the deadline to have your application in to be a precinct delegate or put on the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
And it must, of course, be notarized. And it's important to mark, I guess, the spot, the precinct you're going to run in. And you can also, they said at the clerk's office, you can bring the application there and they'll, without charge, notarize it for you. You can sign it in front of them, mm-hmm. and then they'll notarize it and accept it. Also, people can bring notarized applications to the county if that's more convenient. But the key was, of course, that it has to be notarized, the person running, but they don't have to be the person who turns in the actual application or whatever. I also looked it up. It's on the website, the Michigan State's website. You just search for precinct delegate or whatever. You can download a PDF of the new application.
Okay.
I don't think it's changed at all, but then print it out, fill it out, notarize it, or go into the clerk. And also I talked to, at least in Leelanau Township, the clerk there, or not the clerk, but it is township clerk, about poll workers and poll watchers or whatever. And I guess there's an application for poll workers, and there's also training programs that are going to be coming up. And like I say, I just want to do all these things myself, but I'd also try to encourage, and I don't know everybody. I really kind of hibernate in this county, so I don't know a lot of people, have a lot of friends outside of Leelanau Township. So okay. I'm really trying to push that people talk to their friends or whatever. It's a very easy process. And I think it's almost, if somebody wants to run, it's just about a 30-minute to an hour operation of filling it out and dropping by the county clerk and having them notarize it when
Yeah.
you turn it in. So
Yeah, it's
I would
great. And
hope-
that, you know, it is on, and the form is self-explanatory. I did put in the agenda, the date of the deadline. So, but we really do need to reach out to people. And we, you know, this is a time to really start working on that. Mary, I think you've been doing some reaching out, haven't you? Okay, you're muted, hon.
I'm unmuted. I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm trying.
Well,
I'm-
we'll work on getting you all some resources too.
Yeah,
Yes.
hey Karen, do we have a list of how many Republicans can run in each township?
Yeah, I passed that out at the last meeting, I believe, but I can send that to you.
Well, what I was thinking is, because I'll certainly file, right? And probably
Yeah.
everybody on this call will.
Right.
So why don't we start like putting the names in the townships that we know who
We have
file.
people for, right?
And I don't know if Jerry wants to take that on, or Mary, or I can help, but like, I think there's 6 in Leland Township,
Right.
something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I
Right.
don't know, do you have that handy, Rick? I don't have it handy here.
Yeah, I do. And I hate to say this is my first Zoom meeting, so I'm totally unprepared, but
That's okay. If you have the paper there.
I have that on my computer if I don't disconnect
Oh,
you when I
yeah.
find
Well,
it.
we can work on that. Okay.
Yeah, but
But
there is,
Michelle-
you had sent out the list of people who were elected in the slots last election. And I've been using that as the openings, like I think there's 5 or 7 in Leelanau Township. And so I do have that list of each township and how many slots there are and who was elected last time.
Okay.
And
Well,
I've
and
been,
I think I haven't heard, the only people that will not be, you know, coming back are the people who have passed away. So
Yeah.
we're going to assume, you know, and you know, and I'll call all of them and verify that they are going to be running. But see, the issue we have, is where we don't have anyone.
right, well, what I was trying to do, I started it with a spreadsheet, is just anybody that I had contacted who was interested. I have the townships or the precincts listed, and then I put a name under them of people and their contact information. I probably have put in the people that were listed as having been elected, but I was trying to add people.
Sure.
And I know Leland is one that we were missing quite a bit. And I think Leelanau Township will have that filled up because that's where I live. So I run into people who live here, and I think we'll have more than enough to fill that.
Well, that's,
But-
you know, and that's perfect. And that's what we really need, is we need someone in each township, or, you know, each precinct, you know, to, you know, develop the people that they know.
To recruit, right. And I'm willing to volunteer because I have this spreadsheet. If people want to email me with names, and people have called me with people to contact, and I've contacted them
Okay.
and talked to them. And I'm just feeling it's time to close the deal when I contact them next to say, are you going to do it or not?
Well, can we count on your support? Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, you know, and I've sent them all your information that you sent
Okay.
me about the duties of the precinct delegate.
Okay.
And if I got an email, you know, I can get a hold of them and send them material. But I'm trying to compile a list of people interested, because in April, in particular, we're going to have to nail them down, you know,
Sure.
if they need help getting the application in, or an application, we can get it to them.
Yeah.
Hey, Karen,
Yes.
can you hear me? It's Gary Hosking. I
Gary.
live in Leland. Hi, I live in Leland Township, and I'm happy to do some recruiting. But do we have a list of registered Republican voters in Leland County that I can look at and then call?
We can get that. You mean Leland Township?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we can work on
Leland
that.
Township.
Yeah, we can work on that,
You know,
Gary.
I could help Gary and some others. We just looked down the membership list and see
Okay.
who paid their dues, and find out if they're interested in running.
Well, exactly. I'm happy to call any and all of the people.
Okay.
And I'll know a lot of them, I'm sure. And how many do we need for Leland Township?
You
6
know,
or 7?
I don't know if I can look at it here while we have this going, but
That's okay.
yeah, I did.
I know I had it too, but I don't have it now.
Well, we'll refresh it. We'll refresh it. We'll get going. We'll get the pedal to the metal and we'll get going.
And
So-
Rick, we met at the last meeting. I left my email, but I'll reach out to you too. What's your email, Rick?
It's rswyatt@gmail.
SWAIT.
IAT.
All right, that's W.
SWIAT. Everybody reverses that, but it's
R-
S
at Gmail. Okay.
at Gmail.
I'll email you my stuff because it sounds like you're a good resource to channel people through potentially because you've researched it. I mean, I know I've read, so, but I'm happy to start calling people because we got to get them filled
Okay.
and preferably filled with like-minded people, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Right. Well, they have to join the party, correct?
Well, no, they don't have to join the party. We prefer that they do, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
But again, Elizabeth Cheney is technically a Republican, so I'm
Right.
not going after people like that.
Right. Well,
Right. No,
yeah.
I'm just saying a lot of people don't know what it is. I mean, that's part of the problem. They're not sure what they're getting into. And, so there's always that reluctance, but I think there's got to be a lot of motivated people out there.
There are.
I would think
And,
exactly.
It's a matter of education, and that's where we can help. So, well, great. I'm sensing some great enthusiasm here, and we'll get some support for you. And I will send everybody that's on this call. I will send what I passed out at the last meeting, so that you'll have who the delegates are and how many delegates we need for each township. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And Karen, if I can, I'll make a comment here.
Okay.
I think you're gonna have to revise those numbers per township this year again with the clerk.
Okay.
But I'm not sure what the deadline is, but every 2 years you have to revise that count, how many slots we want to allow per township. So,
Okay. And I haven't heard from her. Would that come from her?
yeah, it would come from Michelle Crocker. So I'm guessing it usually is February, March when the clerks reach out. So,
Okay. All right.
Okay, Karen?
Yes.
Yeah, I found that thing, and what I showed from the last election in 2020 was 9 in Bingham Township, and it looks like we filled that one almost. And Centerville, it was 4. Cleveland Township was 3.
How many are in Centerville, Rick?
None.
Okay, so that's important. Okay.
So it's 4, 0 elected or ran. Cleveland Township, 3 spots. We have one delegate.
Okay.
Elmwood Township, says 10, and we have 3.
Okay.
Elmwood Township 2 is 6, and we have 2. And let me see what else. I can't believe page 2. It's not in this file. That was just,
Okay.
So there's another page.
It's
I
not
think
in-
it was.
It's not in the back, Rick?
Yeah, well, let me check again. Well, I'm looking at it. I scanned it on
Oh,
my
on the computer.
so,
Okay. Yeah, because
but I'm sure I have it. It's
I
just,
think it was two-sided. Okay, well, we'll get that out. We'll get that out. So good.
but I think we need to put a list, kind of like something. I was thinking that though we're not having in-person meetings, but I was planning, to have a chart and show people, like a poster board that here's the places and names that are, how many spots are full and how many are open, almost like a
Okay.
temperature gauge. But
Okay.
we're only going to have about a month. I don't know if we're going to have an in-person meeting in April or.
Well, I don't think we can rely on that. We don't need to have an
Yeah.
in-person meeting. We know what has to be done and, we just have to keep going forward. We probably won't have an in-person meeting until May, so.
Well, it sounds like you could put a little committee together between Rick and Gary and
Right.
Mary and I, and we
Well-
could just start working on it. I'm a notary, so
Yeah,
I can
okay.
notarize anything.
Oh, that's great to know.
Yeah,
And Steve is too, aren't you, Steve?
yes,
yeah. So we got people that can notarize stuff.
Right, so good.
Well, and I just found the second page, but Leland Township, there's 8 spaces, and Michelle, you're the only one
Okay.
in office.
There you go, Gary.
Okay,
And
Yep.
so
I'll
there's
start
7
calling.
spots. And
Okay,
then Leelanau Township, we've got 6 in 1 spot, but I think we've got more than 5 people willing to step up, so.
Okay.
I
and-
might be able to help there too, Rick, because I live on the border.
Oh, okay, and then Casson Township is 5 with 1 spot filled. And Glen Arbor, we have 4 with none, and I think we ran into a few people from there.
Yeah.
Showed interest. Empire is 4 with 2 spots filled. And Solon is 5 delegates and they have 1 opening. Sutton's Bay is 9 and they have 5 openings.
So there's, I'm sorry, you said there's 5 and 4 openings?
In Sutton's Bay, there's a total of 9 and 4 people elected.
Okay, so we have 4, okay.
And
right,
sound,
thank you.
so 6, and we've got 1 opening, but
Great. And I see Charlie's joined us. Charlie, aren't you in Glen Arbor?
No, I've got Cleveland Township.
Oh, you're Cleveland, okay, all right. Cool, good to see you. Glad you could join us tonight.
Karen, how long is a precinct delegate term?
2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 years. All right. Well, thank you so much. Okay. Well, we'll get to work on that. And, again, we can even have another Zoom meeting just with the committee, which I've asked Rick to kind of spearhead. So,
I'm all for that.
okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay. That brings us to our next, any other comments before we go on? Hi, Judy. Okay.
Hi. Can you hear me now?
We can, and I am recording the call, just so for you.
That's good.
Okay. Okay, so let's go into letters to the editor, which I want to say thank you to Carol Underwood for the fabulous letter she had in this week's paper. It's so good. Did y'all? I think I sent it out, or I did post it on Facebook too. So.
Are you trying to get us doxxed?
Getting that? Why?
Post something like that on Facebook. Ship will hit the sand on that one. We may have a civil war in Cleveland Township.
If they see it, yeah. But it's just in Leelanau County paper. I probably could put it on, uncensored Leelanau, but no. Well, that brings me. I sent out a message last week about the League of Women Voters view in the paper last week's. It was awful. Have any of you read it? I mean, are you familiar with what it said?
No, would you tell us about it?
It's just awful.
Did anyone step up to write a response? Because I can
paper.
I can do that if I can write something.
Yeah.
Karen, this is Judy.
Okay. Okay, so I've got Judy down for a letter to the editor. You know what? I'll send it out in an email. They were talking about, again, everything against the secure Michigan vote, and they're not even, and then I also found out. Oh, it was Mary. Mary, was it Mary? Was it you telling me about you went into the Y?
No, not me.
Somebody went into the Y, and they have a flyer. You know how there's like a table of flyers, and there's a flyer from the League of Women Voters talking about, being against the secure Michigan vote. And the thing about it is, of course, is they don't even try to be fair, as far as I'm concerned. So I will send that out to you.
National news with it a couple days ago on CBS. There was a little blurb about our secure Michigan vote and how the Dems are now stepping up, going door to door in the Detroit area to give information about it.
Well, we got to fight that, we got to fight that. But I mean, there are several things that we can write letters to the editor about right now. We really need, I was happy to see that there really was not, I think there were only 3 this week. And one of them was Carol's, which was great. Another one is a guy who talked about the Constitution and so completely wrong. So that needs to be addressed. Grace, I thought I might put together a letter to the editor for you to respond to that, okay?
Yes, that works.
Okay. And again, you know, any other topic, again, just anything positive that you're thinking about that can just put, you know, good step forward for us. Any comments about that?
Don't forget Northern Express. Very few people write Republican letters to Northern Express because it's a communist rag.
Yeah.
But I do every so often. There'll be one this week. But it isn't just the Enterprise. There's also the Wretched Eagle and the Northern Express.
Yeah, there you go too. And that's a really good point, Charlie. I mean, really, you could take, you know, write one letter and send it to all three places.
Some people do that. Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that.
So, but again, it's time for us to really step up. And, you know, again, if you want to get on a rotation, if we had 4 people writing a letter a week and you just did it once a month, if we had 16 people doing that, we would be making a really great impression.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. We got a little bit of background noise going on here. Who is the person that says iPhone?
It might be me because I've had to use my phone for audio. I couldn't get my
Okay.
computer
Okay,
to
there
do
you
audio.
go. Okay, gotcha. I just want to make sure I know who's on the call.
Right.
Excellent. So Mary made a comment about a secure Michigan vote. Steve, how is that going? Do you have any feedback as to how that's going?
Yes, they're on course to get the signatures they need right now. They're obviously, from my understanding, they haven't met what the amount of signatures that they need yet, but they're on pace to get the amount that they need. So they're
Okay.
just, you know, obviously trying to do a final push here, trying to get people to host sign up events, and they'll blast it out on social media and stuff. But from what I'm hearing, they're doing well. But they're just, yeah, they want to do, you know, a couple more pushes to get the amount of signatures we need. But from what I'm hearing, they're doing well.
So in terms of getting an event together, what do you recommend? I mean, I know that it's, you know, pretty cold up there and it's hard to get outside.
So literally what they're asking is drive up events. I had somebody stop in the other day that was considering going to the library, standing outside the library for a time. We're trying to find a business that they can stand outside on a warm day and collect signatures, and then they would blast it out on social media saying from this and such hour they'll, you know, come up and sign it or whatever.
Okay.
So that just something simple like that. Secure My Vote will provide the, you know, obviously hot chocolate and donuts. If that's what, you know, people want to do, they'll fund that if somebody's willing to step up and offer to have a sign up event or something.
Awesome. And what is the deadline on that, Steve?
It's 1st of April, I believe.
Okay. So if any of you are willing to do that, or if you know of someplace that is public that we could, you know, make it a place where, you know, people could frequent your business and come and sign the petition too, that would be awesome. Okay. I'm going to do an ad project update. Nobody from the committee is on our call tonight. Again, the committee, basically what happened is they came up with the idea, and from that point on, we came up with ads. And have you all been noticing, well, if you take the paper, have you been noticing the ads in the paper?
I've been looking at them and I thought that I noticed that the Democrats have stopped doing theirs.
Interesting.
Yeah, they were, you know, it was sort of, wasn't it, I thought, a response to their little blurbs that they were putting in there?
Well, it kind of looked like, I mean, we didn't want to be like a tit for tat kind of thing, but we thought, well, you know, it's.
So they have stopped, though. At least I didn't see any of the last 2 times in the paper, so.
Okay, awesome. Has anybody made any comments to you at all about them? Did they seem to be getting noticed?
I haven't heard any comments.
Okay. Well, I
Well,
hope,
I think that Karen, I think this week's improved because you could read it. It was in bolder face type.
Yeah.
And it was easier to read. Last week's was, the type was so faint that it was hard to read. But this
okay.
week, this week stood right out. I picked up on it right away. I thought
Well,
it
it
was
was
good.
color, it's color.
Yes.
We can't afford to do all color all the time, so every 5th week is going to be color.
Well, we ought to do at least in boldface. Otherwise, like I say, last week I missed it completely. Carol had to point it out.
I'll mention it to Paul, and we also changed the outline to make it a little bit more visible too. The border is what I meant. So, but again, these the quotes are being taken. We didn't want to do anything that was opinion or something that might spark acrimony, if you will. But just talking about our Constitution rights, talking about quotes from past presidents and founding fathers. But again, if any of you have any quotes or something from the Constitution or the Bill of Rights that you think that needs to be put in, please let us know. I mean, this is not my ad, this is our ad. And, but I think it, again, just getting the word out there, getting something positive. Again, this person who put a letter to the editor this week about the Constitution completely misstrued it, and which says to me that people need education about it.
Do we, in the ads, do we have a contact number or a welcoming type thing? Say if you're interested in getting involved, we're interested in having you, be involved.
No, we have to put the disclaimer that we're the party.
Right.
We are a little bit, and Steve, you might want to weigh in here. We're a little bit, people want to get hold of us. We hate to put too much out there because people could be crazy.
Yeah, but we
Yeah,
can't
well,
be afraid.
Yeah, we can't be intimidated.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah. Maybe we should put one of those ads saying, the Leelanau, courtesy of the Leelanau County Republican Party, and an email address if they'd like to get involved. I mean, should we do that?
Well, if you had an email address that, didn't have somebody's personal, wasn't their personal email address, but one that we could go to and say, you'll be contacted. Somebody from the party will, contact you and see what you want to do. But, yeah, I can see most people would be reluctant, or anybody would have to have their personal identifying email listed. Because then, yeah, you could.
Well, I use GOP. I mean, I have a separate, account for my GOP work, so I don't mind sharing my GOP email address.
I think if we want to try to recruit more people, I think the best way to do that would be to get the website up and going and have like a section on the website where people can sign up to get involved or whatever.
Right.
And do it that way, and then broadcast the website and have people go on there and sign up or whatever. I think that'd filter a lot out, and it's not just going to anybody go on there and do that.
Yeah,
so.
that's a good point, Steve. I do have a call into Jeremy for help with the website, so I'll keep you updated on that as that develops. But yeah, great point.
Well, we'd also, I think that's a good idea too. As long as we follow up with a call, I had a couple of people that sent me texts of people in Leelanau Township be interested, and so I said, they gave me their phone number, so I called them. Yeah, kind of cold called them, but gee, I was talking to them for almost an hour to get off the phone.
Right.
There's a lot of people out there willing to or upset. So
yeah. Well, they give you if they give you their phone number, it's not a cold call. That's a warm call. Yeah.
Well,
they
no, it was a
you.
third party giving it to, somebody's saying, call this guy, he might be interested. And so I called him and he was interested. So
and
that's a qualified lead.
That's a qualified lead.
Yeah.
And please don't forget, I did mail out the membership form. So please, be generous with those membership forms. In fact, find some people in your email list that live in Leelanau County that, and send it to them. So That's a really good point too. But you're right, Rick, people are upset.
And I've had people call me about, what can they do? I've been telling them to get involved in their local, either planning commission or board, those types of things, and to join the party.
Right.
Well, and be a precinct delegate. That's what I tell them. Get in the game and be a
I
player.
haven't said that. So yeah, I haven't said that. So I'm sorry. I'll start doing it.
Well, you can give them my email because I contact anybody who's interested and at least send them the info by
Can you give
email.
us-
Yeah, I've got it.
How do you spell your last name again, Rick?
S is in Sam, W-I-A-T.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I love this talk. I love this constructive building. Okay, so if there's no other questions or comments about the ad project, we can move to new business, and let's hear from Will.
Okay.
I turned this.
All right. Well, welcome everybody, and thanks for letting us talk.
Okay, we've got some background going. Everyone might want to mute out unless you have a question right now. And you're Will.
I can't mute out, so.
Yeah, you can't mute.
All right. Well, I just wanted to continue encouraging involvement in the local level. That's key. That whether you're a precinct delegate, whether you're a trustee, even if it's in the Park and Rec Commission of your township, get involved in the government, because we need to get conservatives, Republicans into these places, because the liberals are taking them over. There's also many things in the county. We have, I don't know, probably 15 or 20 types of committees that you can be involved in. And continually we're trying to get Republicans on those boards. And, with the majority of us, a lot of times we can, because to me, it appears that the whiners are winning right now. We just lost prayer because one man came 5 meetings in a row and whined about us having prayer, and he didn't like it. And they decided it was just too much complaining, and they got 5 votes to take it off of our agenda. So, there's if you can come to the monthly meetings, that would be great, but if you have friends or neighbors, talk to them about this. I mean, people seem very willing to talk about what's going on, and especially those in Suttons Bay and Bingham, because they have verified the recall, and I'm going to have an election here now in May 3rd. So, but I believe that the Democrats want to silence us. They want to do it through. They want to call us racist. They want to make us wear masks, and they'll call us anti-vaxxers. They just come up with all these things, and we've got to answer them. The whole thing they said about the prayer was that it was not inclusive. We didn't include everybody in it. Well, that's not what our Constitution says. It's not what we follow, and you can't include everybody, because the guy who came every week was an atheist. So how are you going to include him in prayer? So it's just, we just got to keep on our toes and don't give up, don't get discouraged, and keep fighting for what's right. And that's what all I'm trying to do. And it just seems to get harder to do.
Thank you, Will. But give us a little, can you update us a little bit more on what's going on, with the recall, and what can we do to help support you?
Well, concerning the recall, I've written a letter requesting funds. I'm just going to go out and ask people for money. I know at the last election, the Democrats, I believe, gave Lois almost $7,000, or maybe a little more, plus her own money. So I know that I'm going to have to spend a lot of money for this recall, and so I'm going to be soliciting donations. I did go and purchase the list of people who signed the petition. I believe some of them, well, I know some of them are my supporters. So I'm just surprised to see it on there, but now I learned there's been ways that they told them it was sort of trying to get me reelected, and that's why they should sign the petition. So it appears that they've used a little deception in getting some of these signatures. And, you know, but I haven't verified that completely yet. I know that Eric Carlson was one who signed the petition, and I called him on it about objectivity. How can he be objective in his articles when he is actually, you know, working against me in signing the petition? And he said he's still totally objective. That was his answer. He said that's his, yeah. And so that's the things I have to. And on top of that, I would say that, but I've been getting more and more support. I had a lady call me today and ask me for my address because she wanted to send me money. She said one of her clients who had come into her also wanted to send me a check. So, I mean, that kind of stuff. I had a person come to Sutton's Bay and take me down to Boone's and buy me a beer, and he gave me a donation. So, I mean, I'm getting support. You know, I got a little discouraged Tuesday when they took prayer off of the agenda, but you know, after a day of thinking about it, we're just going to keep working, but I just need the support that we get. It's not happening at the meetings. The Dems always show up, you know, and it's just hard for Republicans because they're working. I mean, if you're working, you can't come to a 9 o'clock in the morning meeting. So I understand it, but I'm just telling you, I'm there to fight. I'm not quitting, and I'm going to win this election. Do everything I can to win it.
Well, we're going to do everything we can to help support you.
You've been great, really.
Well,
and I really appreciate that, you know, and the people who've called me to support me, I really do. Thank you for all of that.
After all you've done for our county, and for them, again, like and in the paper, I said, you know, I wanted to say skewer, but they're trying to ruin Will Bunnick, and it's just unconscionable, just unconscionable. So, I mean, you know, we're only human, you know, sometimes we maybe say something we shouldn't, or say, you know, whatever. Nothing that Will has done warrants this abuse, as far as I'm concerned.
Well,
I have a question,
Go
really
ahead.
quick.
Sure.
Who is going to be voting in this recall election? Is it all of the county, or is it just that precinct?
Yeah.
It's just that precinct. It'll be Sutton Bay and half of Bingham Township.
Okay.
Not our half. Not our half. No.
Okay.
It's going to be the same election as we had in 2020. See,
Okay.
what they wrote on the petition was actually false. I talked about a public vote of the commissioners as representatives of the people. They put it as the public vote of the people of the county. That's the way they presented it. And so they're saying, I want to nullify their vote, when all I was trying to do is reduce the millage for 1 year. And so but they're actually doing now what they accused me of. They're trying to nullify the vote from 2020. And it's exactly the same thing, because now I know Lois Bailey's running against me, who ran against me in 2020. So it just seems like, and the townships are going to have to pay for this, not the county.
Right.
So it's going to cost the townships money for this.
Well,
Hire the people to do the vote.
And then all of the influence that's coming from without the township, you know what I mean? It's, you know, you're getting trouble from outside of your township.
Oh, I am. Well, the people who did the petition, they were from Maple City, Empire, Traverse City, Leland. You know, they all came to collect those signatures. It wasn't people from Sutton's Bay and Bingham. I mean, there were some, but
Right.
there were as many from outside of our township to affect our township.
Okay. All right. Well,
Did I answer or talk about, because I appreciate you've spent, I don't know, over $200 for signs for me, and I really appreciate that. You know, and I feel like I am being supported by the Republican Party, and I do appreciate that.
Well, we've got more to do. We've got more to do, and you know, and the thing is like with Mary living on M22, and she's just south of your district. A sign in her yard is going to make a big difference because it will get a lot of visibility. I wish I could put one in my old house.
Maybe on that trailer you've got.
I'll
Barbara.
cover that one.
Huh?
You can put it in my yard for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks,
thank you.
Mary. Appreciate it.
So.
Yeah, here's my
Karen,
biggest
Karen,
support.
this is Sharon Husted.
Oh, good, you're here. Good, you're here.
We can't figure Zoom out, but
Can't get the front camera to
yeah,
work.
but whatever. We've got all the signs. I think we just have to figure out when we're gonna put them out. And then another question I have is the people that signed the petition, is there any way, I mean, maybe we can't legally do it, but can we make phone calls just to see if they understood what they signed? Or should we just wait and let people vote? I just know that a lot of people probably signed something that they did not understand what they were signing.
That's what Will brought up. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we do are aware of that now, and I've been going through the list more, and we can contact them. There's nothing wrong with that. Those signatures are, they're open to the public. You know, anybody can get those signatures if, you know, if they want to just, you just got to pay for them.
Okay.
You know, but I have them. I got all the petitions. I went and purchased all the petitions, and I wanted to check out the signatures, but they are valid because they did sign it. And even though they were misinformed, that doesn't, you know, that doesn't invalidate their signature.
Right.
But yes, if you want to contact them, Lawrence Bunchek, I don't know if you know him, he has asked me, he said he will go any name that I highlight, he will go and talk to him or call him or do whatever. So, and so I'm planning on him to do that. And if you wanted to do some of that, Sharon, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, I can help. I can certainly help with that. Yes, both Gary and I can help with that. Depending on how many, I guess it depends on how many you think we should contact.
Well, I'm just thinking like for you, there's the people on Maple Valley Road. They are all on one petition. And I can, you know, I think we talked about that earlier. I think it was today or yesterday, you know, that I have that one petition and there's about 10 people who signed it. And I would say at least half of them have said they would support me at different times.
Okay.
So I can get a copy of that to you.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
You know, we can see your foot.
I'll move my feet.
Yeah, we can't get the front camera to work. Only the one on the back works.
I don't know. Technology inept.
It won't switch.
Okay. Well, you know, I just want to mention, you know, when I am dealing, you know, I deal in a people business and actually, quite frankly, my business so often is like politics, you know?
Yeah.
And when I'm dealing with people, often I will say, you know what, I'm really confused. I'm really confused. You know, because you don't, you know, we don't want, you know, if they've changed their mind or whatever, you know, I like to play stupid, you know, like, gosh, I'm just kind of confused because I thought you supported me, or I thought you supported Will, because especially if you're making policies for Will, you know, because, you know, it could get to the point, it could get to be a little bit sticky, you know.
Right.
And we don't want that, you know, we don't.
Oh, we don't want to antagonize anybody.
No.
We're just trying to clarify something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, thank you, Will. Again, we're behind you 100%. And, you know, again, now that we know that there's an election, we've got our marching orders. We got our marching papers.
Yeah.
And I would also mention that let's not worry about when the signs go out. Let's get them distributed.
Okay.
You know, and again, if we could, you know, the Pampered Chef, the party paid for them. if we could say, would you donate $5 when when someone takes a sign to the fund, that would be a great, or whatever they're willing to donate. But I would ask for a donation, and again, if they don't, that's fine. We appreciate the
Right.
support anyway, but I have a feeling, if they have an idea of how expensive this is going to be, I don't think anyone would have a problem throwing in a few bucks.
No, I
That's a great
appreciate
idea.
that, and we'll do that.
Okay, all right.
I mean,
Karen, I'm just kind of questioning when they should be put out. Because I think Will and I discussed last night, end of March, 1st of April. Only because you're gonna put them in a snowbank right now.
Right. Well, whatever you guys decide is fine, but again, let's, I don't want to put it off too much. Again, just you could distribute them and say, put them out, at the beginning of April. But
Okay.
because that's going to be a lot of work if it's all at the last minute, you know what I mean?
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
And again, while you're talking to someone and you strike while the iron's hot, they're interested. Here's a sign, here's your sign. But you guys, you guys can handle that. So Will, again, thank you very much. Any more questions for Will? Okay. And if you haven't made a donation yet, I'm going to encourage you to do that.
Thank you.
Okay, ideas for events. We're at the beginning of the year, and I'm not sure how much COVID is going to play a part in this election cycle. I certainly want to continue doing a Lincoln Day event. I really liked our Lincoln Day event last year, doing it as a breakfast and doing it at the Yoder home. I have a feeling we could do it very similarly, like that again. Any other event, and again, as candidates come around, we'll try to let you know when they're happening, when the events are happening, and I'm going to encourage you to go to as many as you can. I really think it's important for you to get to know the candidate as personal as you can. So take the time to do that. I know that there will be some fundraisers coming up too, but in terms of the Leelanau County Republican Party, what events would you like to see this year?
I really, at the Herman Park, that event where you were looking for, that was I thought that really turned out well. And, and if you need someone to help you with that food, you do a great job, but I would be willing to help you even with that.
Okay. You know what, thank you for, I can't believe I didn't even think of that precinct delegate picnic.
Yeah, I thought that, I know at least one of my nephews signed up for a precinct delegate. He's already notarized and everything, and he's all fired up for it. So,
yeah.
And he said he will comb Bingham Township for me at this election.
Oh,
So,
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, I think the timing for that is like, early September, like it was this past year. And then of course that will be our new precinct delegates, and we're going to be getting them primed. That's going to be just before the election too. So that will be a real special one. Will, thanks for bringing that up. So we'll get that. And we'll, if we can use your residence to get the Herman Park reservation, that would be great.
Anytime, yeah.
Thank you. Thanks for bringing that up. What are all your thoughts on the Lincoln Day dinner, the Lincoln Day breakfast? I'm sorry.
Well, I thought that really went well. I was just, that I didn't see anything, and it made it so reasonable that it was just I thought a good turnout too.
Yeah.
I don't know, didn't you think that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Tell us again when Lincoln, it was at Steve Yoder's, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And
I'm hesitant to talk about timing right now because we're kind of leaning towards trying to get a gubernatorial candidate to come. And, and then whether we like it or not, I don't want to put it like that. The support through the Republican Party so far has really backed James Craig.
Craig, yeah.
And I'd love to get him up here to be our speaker. So I would like to be able to contact them and say, what Saturday are you available? You know?
No,
I-
Karen, we really
Yes.
need to look at getting Garrett Soldano. We really need to look at getting him up here.
Well, he's
He's
been
our-
invited. He's been invited. And you know, when he comes up and he hasn't told us he's coming, Sharon. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to hear from any of them, you know? So, yep, so I'll put that down as a thing. Any other comments? Any other suggestions? That tutor, I can't think of her last name, that tutor person that's running too is impressive.
Dixon.
Tutor Dixon, yes. So, you know, I'm not sure we want to have a panel of all three, but, and I'm not, and that might happen, you know, on a regional basis. You know, if we got together with Benzie County and Grand Traverse County, you know, that might be something we could do a panel with all three too. That would be interesting. So maybe I'll contact those chairs about that. Doing something regional with a panel. Okay, but we'll work on that. We'll work on that. Any other comments or questions about events? Okay. I'm not sure if you've heard, but Betsy Kofia is running against Jack O'Malley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So we, yeah. Does anybody know her personally?
No,
Okay.
I know someone that knows her. It's about it.
Okay.
She's supposed to have gone to about 4 different meetings that I've been to, and every time something comes up and she doesn't show up.
Really?
So, yeah. And I know at the Grand Traverse meetings Grand Traverse County, when they have their meetings, she's often on Zoom or not at them, because I guess she's really busy. That's what they keep saying. So I don't know, you know, how much of it, I know she has a lot of support from the Democrats, but I just wonder after that.
Yeah. Well, there must be some kind of a record. There must be some kind of a record kept.
So what is she known for? It's not every, I can't remember.
Well, she's on the, isn't she on this, is she on the county commission or the city commission?
County board.
County board.
Yeah, Grand Traverse County Board.
Right.
Yes. And she's quite left wing.
Yes.
Am I making that sound good?
Yes.
I thought she ran as a Republican before.
No.
No? Is that, and I misread or did they write it incorrectly on the news? I could have sworn something said that she was a Republican that switched to a Democrat.
Oh,
And I know that she comes from a very conservative family, from what my friends have told me. She was homeschooled and
Wow.
very,
That-
very conservative family.
That's
Yeah,
very
believe.
surprising.
I don't know. That's
Okay.
the people that I know that know her.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, we have to look to see what her public is, you know, her public information is in terms of what are they putting out there for her campaign. So, but we're gonna have to get out and support Jack. Excuse me. All right, membership dues again. I sent out the form for our membership dues. Please get that in as soon as possible. And you can send that, of course, to Michelle. Her address is on the form. And please, you know, if everyone could pass a membership form out to everyone, you know, to everyone, at least one person, you know, and let's, again, you know, we have candidates to support. And, you know, I mean, when you look at our balance, it's a good, healthy balance. We want to use that money to support. We want to do that. You know, we want to do a palm card when it comes time for voters. And you know, and that's expensive. You know, postage is going up all the time. So membership dues are important. And you know, our goal this year is 125. at least 125 members. So I'm just going to throw that out there as a goal. And we are going to, I think we had 97 last year, which is good in a non-election year. But let's really work on that, okay? All right. So with that, any comments, questions, anything else you'd like to cover before we adjourn for tonight? I'd just like to mention at the bottom are some upcoming events. I will work on a better calendar by the next meeting, and we'll follow up on all of the precinct delegate. And again, you know, if we want to have a separate Zoom to kind of brainstorm that, but I'm going to get some support for you and get some listings and narrow it down by townships, so by precincts as better as we can.
When is the next meeting, Karen?
The next meeting will be, I have it on there, LCRP meeting, February 17th, the third Thursday of the month.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay. If there's not anything else, could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Midge?
Second.
And Will. Okay, you guys, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us tonight. Keep safe, keep warm. I'll say that with a smile.
Yeah, rub it in.
Everybody.
See you soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.